faith disturbing?
That's right, everyone. This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. I don't find the lack of faith disturbing, because you know what? I have faith in the Shane right now. I've said it a million times. I'm on the Malik Willis Express, and I'm the leader of the Joe Shane caboose, because he's pulling behind the Malik Willis Express. DeShane came out yesterday, had an interview with a bunch of reporters, of course, at the annual NFL annual meeting. You know what? DeShane, and this is why I like DeShane. And this is why, and not that I'm knocking Gettleman or Reese or George Young or any of the other general managers we've had in the past. I like Shane's honesty. He is swimming in a sea of honesty with everything that's going around with him. He talks about the roster. He talks about the draft. He talks about Saquon Barkley. He says a lot of things in this interview. You know, the Giants, of course, own the 5th and the 7th pick. They're going to be players, you know, and probably within this draft, potentially moving one of those picks. He came out right away and said, we have enough needs on this roster that I think we can go with the best player available. That says a lot. A lot of times teams look to reach for a position, not talking about Malik Willis. To the people that like to bash me about Malik Willis and the people that like to send me the people that like to bash me, all I have to say to some people is get more than 26 views on a video before you bash Malik Willis and myself. That's all I'm going to say. But you know what? He's looking at this draft the right way. He understands that this team has so many holes that we have enough needs on this roster. I think you can go take the best player available. He's depleted the tight end room. He's depleted the safety room. He's still searching for linebackers, offensive. You could sign all these offensive linemen that you want. They're just stopgap guys. I think it was some crazy stat that out of the 12 or 13 guys that he has signed, 10 of them are basically on veteran minimum contracts. So I mean, it is what it is in reference to what he's doing. No, then he also said it's a daunting task when you start adding in the draft picks and then trying to add replacement cost in season and then where we'll have to go from there. That's a daunting task, he said, reference basically to salary cap. It's hard to operate. Again, it's always tough to sit on your hands in free agency when you have holes on the team that you like to fill. I knew that when I knew what I was getting into. John and Steve, they understood what they're getting into, and Brian Daboll understood what he's getting into as well. That's a lot of honesty from a general manager. But you know what? I think honesty is the best policy in this situation. I've always said this before, and I've said this to people that have worked for me, and I've said it to people that I've mentored, that the best approach when you make a mistake or do something wrong is to admit to it immediately and just say, yes, I did it. This is my fault. I caused this issue. Because at that point in time, then you say, now let's solve the problem. Because a lot of times people are just looking for people to blame. That's all people are looking for. So if you come out immediately and say, yes, I did it, what is the response for somebody? They have no response because you just diffused the bomb before it went off. The problem is that Joe Shane, this was not his bomb. This was the Gettleman bomb. Technically, this was the Mara bomb. So he diffused it by basically saying, yeah, we got no money. This is we're signing guys that are taking veteran minimums to come here. We signed basically one guy at, I would say, close to market value in Glowinski. We signed another guy in Tyrod Taylor for a little bit more money than we probably wanted to. But these are guys that we need to have on this team. And he said basically, when possibly working to 2023, he says, that's our goal. We like to be in better salary cap health next year. For sure, reversing having to move on from people or cut guys or do any type of restructures. I'd rather not be into that situation. Tell you, man, he's swimming in a sea of honesty. You don't see that. You don't see that a lot. You don't see that a lot. And basically said about the rosters, the roster continues to evolve. We signed a guy today in Matt Garcia. We'll be open to listening, but again, it's got to make sense for us. If there's two players that we really like as players and people and as players, then again, I'm absolutely fine staying there, taking a guy that we like and that I'll get a good night's sleep. And I'll get a good night's sleep. That's what we're talking about the draft and the evolving of the roster. Then he talked about the fact that the phone's been ringing in reference to Saquon Barkley, but he's not picking up. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. They basically are saying they are not moving on from Barkley. That Shane reached out to Saquon amid all the trade speculations, and basically said, you know what, he's open to anything, but evidently he's not open to the possibility of trading Barkley. It doesn't make sense for the salary that Barkley's making, the potential that he could be relying off that salary, and what we are looking for him. We're just not going to move him. Even Mara says we're not shopping Barkley, but they're not saying they have not received phone calls in reference to Saquon Barkley. This is a different organization right now. Or I should say this is a different organization managerially wise in reference to the general manager and the cap. When your general manager comes out and says your cap makes it hard to operate. Yeah, that's what it is. You know, people have called the Giants bottom feeders in reference to free agency, and that's what we've been. It's honesty. Right now, the Giants barely have $1 million. There are barely $1 million right now under the cap. And they need to gain some cap relief. They need to find some relief. And that's why they're going to have to get rid of Bradbury, because they have the rookie cap pool they have to take care of. So, I mean, it's just nice for a change. It's just nice for the change. So, what was it? So, the 13 players they brought in, the Giants, or re-signed, 10 of them, that was 10 of them. Yes, it was 10 of them that received veteran minimum salaries. So it really did allow him to write the one big contract for Glowinski. I'm still concerned about Glowinski, to be honest. Like I said, his career did not progress until he went. Until he went to Indianapolis. So he's a system guy. And I've said this before. It worries me that he's a systems guy, kind of like Nate Solder was a systems guy in reference to the blocking scheme for New England. But like I said, we're going to definitely move on. We're going to definitely move on from our old buddy James Bradberry. It's a painful thing to have to move on from Bradberry. But you know what? We knew we were going to, well, not all of us. I would say a good portion of us didn't understand the fact that this is what was going to happen this year. Still waiting for all my apologies. Still waiting. You can leave those apologies in the comment section, or you can address those apologies to Tim@OnlineBigBlue.com, and that's Tim@OnlineBigBlue.com. So we'll have some apologies there. One thing I don't like is people talk about in 2017 when he went over and as the assistant general manager to Bean, and the Bills were stuck with $50 million in dead cap space. People forget the year prior to that they made the playoffs, and then they went 6-10 with Josh Allen, and then they became the Bills. So it's not like they were in these doldrums for years. They made the playoffs in years prior to that, going 6-10. And when they were in salary cap purgatory. So we really can't compare that. I think people need to stay away from that comparison. I'm just saying, that's just me. But like I said, it's interesting. It's good. I like the fact that he's talking honesty. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what their draft philosophy is. I'm not going to sit here and try to pontificate or repeatedly or do mock drafts and tell you what I think their draft philosophy is, because you don't know. We'll do one mock draft, and that's going to be on Orthodox Easter. I think that's like the 26th or the 24th. I can't remember the date. Sunday. And we're going to do that one draft because the Giants have more holes than Swiss cheese. That's all it's and he said it best. We got it. We got so many holes on this team. We might just take the best player available. Will that be Malik Willis? Could that be Kyle Hamilton? Could that be Kayvon Thibodeau? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. All right, we have the big stream today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Dahmer. Talking Shane, talking Giants. Maybe we'll get a Bradbury trade before then. Also, check out the Online Big Blue website at onlinebigbblue.com. You can find all of our podcasts, all the YouTube videos. You can connect into the Online Big Blue store, which now has not only Poppycocker gear available, it also has Online Big Blue gear available. Draft Baby Yeah gear available.
Draft Baby Yeah.
So make sure you get your Draft Baby Yeah shirt before if you go to the top of the store, you will see a thing that says click on this for 15% off your entire purchase. It's a good value. That's a whole lot of money. That's a whole lot of value for only $3. Blues Brothers. And tonight's ladies' night. Sorry. I'm pontificating Blues Brothers. But tune in at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope everyone can make it. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna do some interesting things. And again, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, subscribe, if you're ring that bell, you know what it means. That'd be awesome.